Dear students, in the last class, we discussed the moment of inertia of a body, the rotational kinetic energy, and we derived the expression for rotational kinetic energy also. What is moment of inertia? It is the inertia of a body in rotational motion. Tendency of a body to remain in the same state is called inertia. Rotational inertia. Moment of inertia is nothing but rotational inertia. Inertia possessed by a body in rotational motion. And the moment of inertia of a body is measured as the product of mass and square of the distance between the body and the axis about which the body rotates. Moment of inertia formula I is equal to mr square. I represents moment of inertia, m mass, r distance of the body from the axis of rotation. This is moment of inertia. Now, let us discuss the theorems of moment of inertia. When a body is in rotational motion, it possesses inertia. Then, there are two theorems of moment of inertia. They are parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. Let me consider the parallel axis theorem of moment of inertia. Here, let us consider a rigid body. Say, this is a rigid body. Here we have a rigid body of mass m. Consider a rigid body of mass m. Let G be the center of gravity of the given body. G the center of gravity. CD is the axis passing through the center of gravity. Now, let us consider an axis AB at a distance r from the axis CD. Consider an axis AB at a distance r from the axis through center of gravity. Now this theorem of parallel axis. This theorem gives the moment of inertia of this body about the axis AB. Here, using this theorem of parallel axis, we can find out the moment of inertia of this rotating body about the axis AB. And the theorem states that, this parallel axis theorem states that, moment of inertia of the given body about an axis, about any axis, say here AB, about any axis AB is equal to sum of, SUM, sum of the moment of inertia of this body about an axis passing through the center of gravity and product of the mass of the body and square of the distance between the two axes. The theorem states that moment of inertia of the given body about an axis, about any axis AB, is equal to sum of the moment of inertia about an axis passing through the center of gravity and product of mass of the body and square of the distance between the two axes. This is the theorem of parallel axis. So, you can write in the expression for that one is I equal to Ig plus mr square. Here I, moment of inertia about the given axis AB. Ig, moment of inertia about the axis through center of gravity. M, mass of the body. R, distance between the two parallel axes. So this is applicable only in case of the two axes which are parallel. The given axis that should be parallel to the axis through center of gravity. So this is theorem of parallel axis. Now to prove this, consider the rigid body of mass m. See here, let us consider a particle of mass small m. Consider a particle of mass m at a distance x from the axis CD, that is from the center of gravity. We have a particle of mass m. Here mass is capital M represents mass of the body, small m mass of this particle. And the whole body, it consists of so many such particles of mass, of different masses, m1, m2, m3 and so on, so that sigma m gives the total mass of the body. So particle mass m at a distance x from the axis CD. Now what is the moment of inertia of this particle about CD? Mx square. Definition is mass into distance square. So mx square. So mx square gives the moment of inertia of that particle from the axis CD. Now the given axis is AB, which is parallel to CD. Now the moment of inertia of this particle of mass m about CD is equal to m into square of the distance between the particle and the axis. What's the distance here? This one is x, this one is r, so the distance is x plus r. So that moment of inertia of the particle P about AB is equal to m into x plus r whole square. So, see, moment of inertia about AB, it is m into x plus r whole square. See, m into distance. Distance is from here to here x, here to here r, so x plus r, it's square. This is the moment of inertia of one particle. The whole body is made up of so many such particles, so that the total moment of inertia of the body, the whole body, about the axis AB. Total moment of inertia, nothing but moment of inertia of the whole body given by summation m x plus r whole square. We add up moment of inertia of each and every particle of the body. And if you simplify this, what is x plus r whole square? X square plus r square plus 2xr, a plus b whole square form. So this one becomes this. Or from this you get multiply the terms inside by m. So we get sigma mx square plus sigma mr square plus 2 sigma mxr. Now, what is mx square? Just mx square is moment of inertia of the particle from the axis through center of gravity. So sigma gives the total moment of inertia about the axis through center of gravity, denoted as Ig. So sigma mx square is Ig. Then sigma mr square. What is sigma mr square? See here r, the distance of, say this r, nothing but distance of CD from AB, it is fixed. It is a constant value, r is constant. So here sigma m, nothing but total mass of the body. So that sigma mr square, it can be written as mr square. Plus 2 into r fixed, so 2r sigma mx. So this one becomes this. I is Ig plus mr square plus 2r sigma mx. Now this sigma, this mx, the product of mass and the distance. Here m into x, mass of the particle into x. This is nothing but, the mx is nothing but moment of this particle. It is not moment of inertia. It is moment of the particle about the axis through center of gravity. And here center of gravity almost through the center of the body. So we have so many particles on one side, many particles on the other side, so that the particles are distributed symmetrically on either side of this CD, so that the net moment, the whole body is balanced about the axis through center of gravity, or the whole body is always balanced about the center of gravity of the body, so that sigma mx equal to 0. Therefore, I becomes I equal to Ig plus mr square. Hence, I equal to Ig plus mr square. This is the theorem. What the theorem says? Moment of inertia of the given body about any axis equal to sum of the moment of inertia through the center of gravity, axis through center of gravity, a parallel axis through center of gravity, and product of the mass of the body and square of the distance between the two axes. This is theorem of parallel axis. Second one is theorem of perpendicular axis. Here, again consider a rigid body of mass m. Consider a rigid body of mass m. Consider an axis, say OZ. O is a point on the surface of the body. Let OZ be the axis passing through that point O, which is perpendicular to the plane of the body. So if this is the plane of the body, the axis OZ is like this. This is the, suppose here is the rigid body you have. This is the axis which is passing through O and perpendicular to the plane of the body. So OZ, axis through O, perpendicular to the plane of the body. Now, consider two more axes, OX and OY, at right angles to each other. OX, OY are the two axes at right angles to each other. and these two axes are in the plane of the body. See, they are in this plane. The OX, OY are in this plane, OZ perpendicular to that. So that all these three are mutually perpendicular. Now, the theorem of perpendicular axis, what it states is, moment of inertia of the body about the axis perpendicular to the plane of the body is equal to sum of the moment of inertia about the two axes at right angles to each other in the plane of the body. Which are the two axes at right angles to each other in the plane of the body? OX and OY are the two axes at right angles to each other in the plane of the body. So that the theorem says, moment of inertia about any axis perpendicular to the plane of the body, this axis, is equal to sum of the moment of inertia about the two axes at right angles to each other in the plane of the body. This is theorem of perpendicular axis. And the expression for that theorem of perpendicular axis, it is nothing but I is equal to Ix plus Iy. Suppose I is the moment of inertia about this axis. See, this is the axis. I is the moment of inertia about this axis. Ix, Iy are the moment of inertia about the two axes OX and OY. Then I is equal to Ix plus Iy. This is theorem of perpendicular axis. To prove this, again, the rigid body of mass m, OZ, the axis perpendicular to the plane of the body about which we have to find out the moment of inertia. Let I be the moment of inertia about this axis. Consider a particle P of mass m at a distance r from the point O. P at a distance r. At a distance r from the point O. Now, moment of inertia of this particle of mass m about OZ. Moment of inertia about OZ. Moment of inertia is always mass into distance between the particle and the axis. So, what's the moment of inertia about OZ? M into this square of this distance. It is r square. So, moment of inertia about OZ is m r square. That is the particle. Then about the body consists of so many such particles. So, moment of inertia of the whole body about this axis OZ. It's given by sigma mr square. Now, the moment of inertia of this particle about OX. Or instead of the particle, let us consider the moment of inertia of the body itself. The whole body means we just consider the summation, total. Single particle means just m only considered. Whole body means summation m. That's all. Now, what is the moment of inertia of this body about x-axis, about OX? About OX means mass into distance from x-axis. Distance from the x-axis, nothing but this one. It is nothing but y. This is y-axis. So, the distance along y direction is y. Therefore, moment of inertia of the body about OX. It is given by Ix. It is sigma my square. The distance is y. Similarly, moment of inertia about the OY axis. From OY, what is the distance? It is x. From OY, distance of the particle is x. So that moment of inertia is sigma mx square. Iy equal to sigma mx square. Therefore, Ix plus Iy, it is sigma my square plus sigma mx square. That is sigma of or summation of m x square plus y square. What is x square plus y square? See, all are at right angles to each other. X square, see, this is y means this is also y. X square plus y square is nothing but r square. This one is y, this distance is also y, parallel. This is x, this is also x. So that x square plus y square, nothing but r square. Therefore, Ix plus Iy equal to summation m r square. What is summation m r square? Nothing but I. So, Ix plus Iy is I. Hence, the theorem. Perpendicular axis theorem or theorem of perpendicular axis. What it says? Moment of inertia of the body about any axis perpendicular to the plane is equal to sum of the moment of inertia about the two axes at right angles to each other in the plane of the body. And these are the two theorems of moment of inertia. Now, let us calculate the moment of inertia of the bodies of different shapes. Let us calculate or let us find out the expressions for moment of inertia of the bodies of different shapes, like a rod, a rectangular body, or a circular body, and so on. Here we have to find out the expressions for the moment of inertia about the different axes, different types of axes. First one is here a thin rod. Thin rod is nothing but a rod whose thickness is very, very small compared to the length. A thin rod. A rod or a body whose length is very large compared to the thickness. It's a thin rod. The thickness is negligibly small compared to the length. Here, AB is a rod of length L and mass M. Capital M, total mass of that rod. Consider rod of length L and mass M. Case 1 here. Let the axis be passing through the center and let it be perpendicular to the length. Suppose this is the rod. Now the axis is passing like this through the center and it is perpendicular to the length of the rod. Case 1 is that. An axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the length of the rod. See, this is the case. The axis is like this. About this axis PQ, what is the moment of inertia of this rod? That you have to calculate. For this, consider a small element. See here, one more thing. Total length AB equal to L. Total length AB is L. So OA equal to OB, nothing but half, L by 2 each. Consider a small element of length dx, very small length dx at a distance x from PQ. Consider one element of length dx at a distance x from PQ. Now, we have the total length L, total length of the rod is L, its mass is M. So what is mass per unit length? Mass per unit length means mass divided by length. Mass per unit length of the rod, mass divided by length is mass per unit length. Now we have the element dx, element of length dx. What is its mass then? Nothing but mass per unit length into length. That gives mass of the element of length dx. So m by L dx, nothing but mass of the element, mass of this element of length dx. Now, moment of inertia of this element. Moment of inertia, nothing but mass of the element into square of the distance. That is nothing but m by L dx. This is the mass into square of the distance, x square. Moment of inertia of the element about PQ is mass of the element into x square. That is m by L x square dx. Now, this is the moment of inertia of one element. The whole rod consists of so many such elements. You can divide the whole rod into so many such dx elements of length dx on either side of O. Therefore, the total moment of inertia, see, this one gives moment of inertia of only one element. Then to find the moment of inertia of the whole rod means moment of inertia of all those elements from the end A to end B. What we do? We add up the moment of inertia of all those elements lying between A and B. Lying between A and B is nothing but this x is now varying between minus L by 2 to L by 2. See, from here the length L by 2, from here to length L by 2. So the x, the distance, this x, distance of the element from this axis, that varies between 0 L by 2 and 0 minus L by 2. So that x is varying between minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. So that the total moment of inertia is equal to integration of this value between the limits minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Integration of this one between, integrating means summing up, finding the total. Integration of this between the limits minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Which is same as minus L by 2 to 0 plus 0 to L by 2 or 2 times 0 to L by 2 m by L x square dx. Means 0 to L by 2 m by L x square. It gives the moment of inertia of the half portion. Similar half portion on the other side means twice. When you simplify this, you get the expression. Simplification means, see here, simplify. Simplification means this one. Say m by 2m by L, it is a constant. Keep it outside. Integration of x square dx between the limits 0 to L by 2. There, what do you get? Integration of x square, it is x cube by 3. Limits are 0 to L by 2. Say, that is, see here, 2L by m, x cube by 3, limit 0 to L by 2. You know the integration. Integration of x square is x cube by 3. So that, see here, 2m by 3l, 2m by 3l, and apply the limits. Upper limit only, lower limit is 0. Put the upper limit, that is L by 2 whole cube. When you simplify, you get ml square by 12. This is L cube by 8. 2 4s are 8, 4 3s are 12. So you get ml square by 12. Thus, moment of inertia of the rod, thin rod, about an axis passing through the center, perpendicular to the length is always given by ml square by 12. Now case 2, about an axis through one end of the rod. See now here, the same rod of length L and mass m, axis passing through one end. PQ is the given axis. And this axis again, the rod is like this. It is passing through the end, perpendicular to the rod. Now, what is the moment of inertia of this rod about this axis? This is case 2. And here, to find the moment of inertia, we apply the theorem. For that, we consider an axis through the center of gravity. So here we have two axes which are parallel. The given axis PQ, axis through the center of gravity, which are parallel. So we can apply theorem of parallel axis. To find the moment of inertia of this rod, you can apply theorem of parallel axis. What the theorem says? Moment of inertia is equal to moment of inertia sum of moment of inertia through the center of gravity, or moment of inertia about an axis through center of gravity, and product of mass and square the distance. If you apply this, you get the moment of inertia. Now, I equal to Ig plus mr square. What is Ig? Ig nothing but moment of inertia about the axis mn passing through the center, and we already determined as ml square by 12. So what is Ig? ml square by 12. Ig, moment of inertia about an axis through center of gravity perpendicular to the rod, nothing but ml square by 12. So Ij is that. Now, remaining mr square. So m, however, the mass. R square. R is nothing but distance. Distance between these two axes. How much? L by 2. So in place of R square, substitute L by 2 square. So that you get I equal to ml square by 12 plus m L by 2 whole square. M L by 2 whole square is ml square by 4. And when you simplify, you get I as ml square by 3. This is the moment of inertia of the rod about an axis passing through one of its end, either at one end of the rod, either here or here. The same thing. You get I equal to ml square by 3. These are the expressions for moment of inertia of the thin rod. So I stop here. In the next class, let us consider the two more bodies, circular body as well as the rectangular one.